Hello everybody, I'm Heather with GetFitGoFigure.com. I'm a contest prep coach, a pro bikini and sport model pro and judge, and I'm here with Iowa Inferno's Natural Bodybuilding Championships to give you some great information and quick tips on how to get to the stage successfully. Some common mistakes I see with bodybuilders is competing too often and not setting themselves up in the off season properly, okay? Why is that a big problem? It comes down to hormones. Hormones are king here. So what I want to talk about are what hormones are, factors that affect them, and what you can do to help keep your hormones balanced for successful contest prep, long-term health, and a long-term career in bodybuilding. So what are hormones? Hormones are chemical messengers. They travel through your bloodstream to your tissues and organs, signaling processes like growth and development, reproduction, mood, are you hungry, are you full, and that leads to metabolism. That's a big one we're going to talk about today. Hormones can be affected by a lot of things. One being your diet, 2, exercise, 3, sleep, age, gender, environmental toxins, and a big one is stress. And contest prep is stress. During contest prep, we're basically managing that stress to help keep hormones optimal so that you'll lean out and hit the stage looking your absolute best. When you're under stress, progress can be hindered, and age or being really overweight for long periods of time, etc., can really hinder those things. And it doesn't take much to change your hormone balance for the better or worse. So let's talk about the diet part of your metabolism and hormones. You can actually change your metabolic rate by simply eating more or less. Okay, so a matter of basic survival, when food is scarce and calorie intake is low, your body's going to slow that metabolism down to conserve energy so that you don't lose too much fat. And you can hopefully survive this famine that you're going through, known as contest prep. When you're doing a lot of cardio or you're on really low calories, your body will signal that metabolic slowdown so you don't die. And a lot of those, or a few of those hormones include insulin, which drives glucose or energy into your muscle and liver cell for storage and energy use. Ghrelin, which tells you to eat. Leptin, which is secreted by your fat cells, and that tells you you're satiated. If there's not enough fat on your body, there's not enough leptin, so then ghrelin's going to kick in and tell you to eat. And then cortisol, which is your stress hormone, should come up in the morning naturally and go down throughout the day, but when you're stressed out, it stays up high, and that can wreak havoc on your health and muscle loss. So if your cortisol stays high, and you continue dieting down and you're losing muscle during contest prep, you're now burning less calories, your body is matching your calorie intake and slowing that metabolic rate down, so it's a big double whammy, and it makes it very hard to lean out for the stage. But the hormones that are affected are not only those metabolic hormones, but your sex hormones are also affected, and that can play a big role too. Estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, FSH, LH are all affected. One telltale sign in women is that they lose their period because who can support creating another life when you can't even support your own? For men, sex drive will decrease, as will for women. So now everybody's hungry, they're cranky, and nobody's getting any loving, and it's really depressing. So some things that you can do, I have 5 things here that you can do to help keep your hormones as optimal as possible while dieting down really lean. Hormones will compensate, it will happen, but we want to make sure that you are as healthy as possible and that we can optimize those hormones as best as possible, despite the fact that we're getting down really lean and trying to fight nature. Number 1 is diet slow. Aim for 1 pound of fat loss per week or less. If you're aiming for 2 pounds or more a week, most people are not going to make that. It's going to be really harsh dieting. It's hard to stick to. Your body will adapt quickly to huge calorie drops or huge deficits that you make, and it makes it very hard to lean out to the stage. So slow dieting, taking your time is your best friend. 2, sticking with macros. If you're not sticking with macros and keeping your protein high, about 1 gram per pound of body weight or a little more, you're not setting yourself up for success. You can keep your calories higher if you up your protein and keep that as a really good level, because protein is an inefficient source of energy. It does not store like carbs and fat do, and it keeps you satiated. Studies have shown that it keeps you satiated throughout the day. With my general fitness clients, a lot of times I'll take their maintenance calories, just raise up their protein and fill in those calories with carbs and fat. We don't have to drop calories, we just raise the protein, and they'll start seeing results. Number 3 is to manage stress. All right, I know you can't quit your job and you can't kick your kids out of the house, so you've got to find other ways to manage stress. Be really mindful, be in the moment, lots of deep breathing, and certain supplements can help with that as well. Number 4, prioritize sleep. You need your recovery. If you are working so hard with contest prep and working, and again, if you have kids, whatever, sleep suffers, and that will hinder progress. I've seen it where I've had clients prioritize sleep, and within 3 days, they start losing weight again. It's amazing. So sleep is a big one. Not only the duration of the sleep, but the quality is important. And number 5, supplements. There are a lot of great supplements out there. Some of them include DIM, chasteberry, arachidonic acid, D-aspartic acid, ashwagandha, etc. I'm not going to get into those right now, but you can go and watch. I have a video on Instagram and YouTube under Get Fit Go Figure called Supplements for Muscle Building and Fat Loss. You'll find that I explain all of those things there to help you with hormone balancing and stress response and sleep. Now, once you're done with your show, you've leaned out or not, you've dieted down, and now you're done. What do? You don't have a show anymore, you don't have a goal, you don't have to be in a little bikini or shorts on stage, and you take a day to sort of relax and eat. Now your body is ramping up those hormones and it's saying, all right, we need to eat food and get your body fat back to where it was. A lot of times, if that's left uncontrolled, people will binge eat for about 2 weeks and they'll gain back even more weight than when they started. And then they'll ask me if they can diet it back off. Can they? Nope. Metabolism is down here, weight is up here. You try to drop those calories back down, nothing's gonna happen because your body's already adapted to that level. So reverse dieting after your show is extremely important to slowly get your calories back up. Make sure that you don't gain excessive weight. Typically 10 to 20 pounds above your stage weight is a really good place to sit in your off season. And in that off season, you want to reverse diet up your calories as much as you can without gaining a lot of fat, and you want to get that cardio out so that when you start another contest prep, your body will respond really well. Okay, so as a bodybuilder, keeping cardio out, getting those calories up and lifting like a beast, sticking with your macros, 365, that's a champion right there. Okay, you're sticking with it all year round. Now, this brings us to the point of some people competing spring, fall, spring. What happens once they get to that third prep right in a row? Your prep has to be so harsh, the body tends to not respond anymore. After you've prepped the first time, if you want to prep, say you prep in April, and then you want to do another show in September, you have no time that summer to relax, let your hormones balance. You've got to stay lean that whole time in order to hit that show. And that can be very hard on your body to maintain a really lean physique for a longer period of time. And then if you go ahead and try and compete in the spring again, your prep, and this happens 100% of the time, your prep is going to have to be super harsh, and a lot of times you're not even going to make it as lean as you did the first time around. In bodybuilding, time is your friend. If you compete one season, it is a great idea to take 1 to 1.5 years off to build, get your metabolism back, and then compete again. Because your body will remember that you starved for a show or in a famine. It didn't matter, your body doesn't differentiate. And it will actually adapt to your diet faster. So that's one thing against, or just trying to keep you alive, right? So it's very important in your off season to reverse diet your calories up as high as possible. Make sure your hormones have stabilized, get cardio out, and take your time. Time is your friend, okay? Other factors that affect your ability to lean out or affect your hormones include your age. My 35 and older clients typically have a much harder time dieting down and leaning out than my younger clients. Your previous body fat percentage and how long you may have been overweight or obese. And then your dieting history. Have you done a lot of fad diets and yo-yoed up and down, or a lot of contest preps? And then lastly, your gender. Men tend to lean out faster or easier than women. And, you know, women have to create life. Men don't have to gestate human life and sustain it. But that doesn't mean men don't have issues leaning out either. There's a lot of environmental factors that we have to consider in our lifestyle that affect hormone balance. So it's really, really important. Okay, this is the final takeaway. I'm a huge proponent of having your hormones tested. You can have them done at any time, whether you're 20 or 40, or if you're starting prep or you want to wait till you're off season. Highly recommend a hormone panel. I send my clients to lifeextension.com for the comprehensive weight loss panel. And you can print that list off and bring it to your doctor. Most times they will not do it because there's no medical need to do that many blood markers and hormones. So, and it's cheaper to go through lifeextension.com. So what I would do is go through lifeextension.com, put the order in your cart. They'll send you the information through email. You'll have a lab order. You'll make an appointment through a local lab, have your blood tested, and they'll send those results right to you. You can then take that to your doctor or an experienced coach, and they'll take a look at your ranges, but you've got to understand that there's functional ranges and there's optimal ranges. Your blood tests and all medical tests are going to look at your functional range. If you are within anywhere in that functional range, you are alive and you will be just fine. But that's not entirely true. Usually there is an issue that is not balanced, that is not optimal human performance. So your doctor is just trying to keep you alive. If you're in functional ranges, they're going to send you home. What they need to understand is that you want to be in the optimal range. And that is very important to be firing on all cylinders: optimal performance, optimal recovery, optimal muscle building, and optimal long-term health, okay? If you find that there's any issues, say you're still within the functional range, but you're not optimal, a lot of times you can try supplements like DIM or diindolylmethane, which will bind excess estrogen, chasteberry, which can balance progesterone. You can try DHEA, which is a precursor to testosterone, D-aspartic acid, which helps boost testosterone, ashwagandha, which is great for stress response and balancing hormones. And you can try those, and I'd give it a good 3 months or even 6 months and retest in 6 months. If things aren't getting better and you've managed stress, you're getting in your sleep, you're taking your supplements, you're eating nutritious foods, then you may want to get some help with a hormone replacement doctor or a functional medical doctor that knows what they're doing when it comes to balancing your hormones. And they can prescribe low dose things for your thyroid or progesterone or estrogen to get things up. Some people do need to take a testosterone cream, but that does take you out of competing as a natural athlete in the Natty Revolution. So you've got to be careful with certain things like DHEA and in particular doses, or taking a testosterone cream, because testosterone will take you out of the running for competing as a natural athlete. So be real careful with that, and any supplements you take, you always want to check with those federations if that's your goal, to stay natural. And then make sure that you're, for women, you'd take that test on day 21 of your cycle, and I would test every 6 months until your hormones are optimal, and then after that, maybe once a year or every 2 years. So here's a little recap. Manage stress. Prioritize sleep. Test your hormones. Super important. Do not resist this. 3, use some great supplements to help balance things out, okay? Your off-season setup is super important. Reverse diet. Maintain a healthy weight. Get those calories up and that cardio out so your body will respond to contest prep optimally. Stick to those macros and your plan year round, and time is your best friend. Time to build, time in your off season, and then a long enough time to prep and get lean enough for your show. Thank you for watching. Good luck at the Iowa Inferno. I will see you later.